interrupt your news programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message has been transmitted by request from Conrail and Operation Lifesaver. At around 2:33 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a Conrail freight train, the westbound TV1, has fully derailed its 3 locomotives and 102 freight cars at Ebola, Pennsylvania. The train was en route from Collingswood, New Jersey to Chicago, Illinois. At this time, no updates are given, so the wreck was probably an accident. Stay tuned for further updates. Regular programming will resume now. Civil danger warning. The following message has been transmitted by request from Operation Lifesaver, the NTSB, and the Conrail Board of Directors. Fires have erupted near the 23rd through 38th car lash-up. All are burning at around 7,000 degrees. The emergency personnel have been notified to mandatorily evacuate the area for their own safety. All citizens of Ebola, Harrisburg, and Mechanicsburg, please evacuate your area. A boiling liquid evaporated vapor explosion is most likely to occur. Urgent bulletin. It was confirmed that nobody was killed, but the crew of 4 suffered critical injuries. Toxicology results confirmed alcohol was not a supporting role along with any illegal drug use. The investigation also points to heavy fog and incorrectly maintained signals along the way from Collingswood to Chicago. Both FBI and NTSB officials are combing through the debris to find any evidence. Tune to your station serving your area for additional media coverage on this deadly situation. Hazardous materials warning. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Montgomery County Emergency Management. At around 4:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, multiple 911 calls poured in and forced all firefighting equipment towards the crash site. A 8,000 foot of flames has engulfed the area. For your own safety, please evacuate your area until an all clear has been given by appropriate authorities. It is unknown if the status of the locomotives are in yet, so stay calm. Stay tuned for further updates. This just in, Conrail 6709 has been removed in prep for their trip for rebuilding. The other 2 locomotives involved in this wreck are locomotives 6253 and 6267. They will be both sent for the scrapper's torch. All 102 freight cars were derailed, but 17 of them survived and are being rebuilt. Property damages are around $1,135,000. Stay tuned for later statements from the Conrail Board of Directors and the NTSB for later updates. Tune to WQED serving the Pittsburgh area for later coverage of this dangerously developing story. The NTSB is conducting the investigation to Conrail at this time. All data box recorders will be sent to the FBI Field Lab in Quantico, Virginia. Stay tuned for later statements from NTSB officials. If you are not in this area, tune to your station serving your location until further notice. The fires are still burning, so evacuations are mandatory at this time. Stay tuned for latter statements from the NTSB on this dangerously developing story. Tune to WQED serving the Pittsburgh area for later bulletins. Stay away from this area. Evacuation immediate. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Federal Bureau Investigation, the NTSB, and Operations Lifesaver. At around 7:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a report of a chemical leak has exposed the dangers of this railroad. This is not a test. Chemical leaks were found along the 66th through the 94th freight cars. A fire and explosion hazard against our country is imminent. Stay tuned for latter statements from media outlets on this dangerously developing story. All areas are shut down pending investigation. This includes the McDonald's and Burger King near the Crossing Gate, and the Cold Stone Creamery, Mr. Softy, and Dairy Queen joints near the I-676 exit near Connellsville. Stay away from these areas. sorry to interrupt your programming on WHYY. This is an emergency bulletin update from the Operation Lifesaver President, the NTSB, the Federal Bureau Investigation, and the Department of Transportation. Extremely heavy fog was confirmed as the result of this disaster. No disciplinary action will be filed, but indoor guidelines will be enforced as early as tomorrow morning at 5:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The investigation is nearing completion, but the case isn't closed yet. Stay tuned for later statements from media outlets on this dangerously developing story. Both Conrail Units 6253 and 6267 were both scrapped as their condition worsened. Also, the last of the freight cars has been loaded on flat cars bound for the scrap yard. An all-clear has been given to anyone in a shelter for their own safety. It is now safe to leave your shelters. Repeating again, honest mistakes were the culprit along with blurrier vision. The FRA is now mandated to stop accidents from preventing this again, and to pay attention to detail and audio. Stay tuned for later statements from NTSB officials on this dangerously developing story. Stay away from this area. We interrupt your news programming. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. This message has been transmitted by request from Operation Lifesaver, the people who evacuated earlier and now safe to return to your houses. Again, we thank you for your cooperation urging this emergency. We will turn to normal programming. This concludes operations under the emergency broadcast system serving the Philadelphia and Pittsburgh areas.